This is the Insta360 Ace Pro 2, and this is the GoPro Mission 1 Pro. And you would think that the GoPro Mission 1 Pro, being newer and the latest and greatest, would beat the Ace Pro 2 in every way. But there are actually a couple of areas where the Ace Pro 2 still wins over GoPro, including one area that you definitely need to know about if you're going to be getting or looking at getting the Mission 1 Pro. And just so we're clear, I was sent both of these cameras by their respective makers for the original reviews, but neither one of them have anything to do with this comparison video, and this comparison video is not sponsored by anyone. Now, we do have a lot to talk about between these two cameras, because while they both are flagship action cameras, they are very different in a few different ways. But on the surface, they seem like they're pretty similar. So let's start breaking things down by checking out the image quality. And looking at the video that both of these cameras produce, straight out of camera, like, it looks really, really good. Now, the big advantage that the GoPro has over the Ace Pro 2 is that GoPro will shoot in 10-bit. You can shoot in 10-bit normal color profile. You can shoot in a 10-bit GoPro Log 2 color profile if you want. And you can also shoot in a GoPro HDR or HLG HDR, which is a high dynamic range version of the same video. And this is the log profile on GoPro Mission 1. And the Ace Pro 2 doesn't have a log profile. I expect we'll see that coming in the Ace Pro 3 whenever that gets released. But yeah. And then this is the normal color profile of all three of the cameras, which honestly, all three of them do a very good job. They look really good. Insta360, however they're dealing with their image in the background, even though it's limited to 8-bit, at least in the Ace Pro 2, I'm sure the Ace Pro 3 or whatever the next iteration of this camera will bring a 10-bit color profile. But for now, this is limited to 8-bit. It does do a really good job of getting a decent amount of dynamic range. The one thing is that GoPro offers HLG HDR. So this is the HDR mode of the GoPro. Looking straight at the sun. Curious to see how that's looking. Now, the Ace Pro 2 does offer active HDR in the 4K mode. So right now we're in 4K with the active HDR on. The GoPro does have better image quality, and GoPro gives you an absurd amount of options in how you want to handle that image in camera. It really is set up for pro users, where it comes to if you want extra sharpening or no sharpening, or if you want noise reduction, no noise reduction, if you want 10-bit, 8-bit, if you want high bit rate, low bit rate. You can even use GoPro Labs to get into extremely high bit rates, which when you're looking at bit rate, essentially what you're looking at is all of the really fine detail in gravel, in leaves, and stuff like that. That's what bit rate makes a big difference on, and especially when that stuff is in fast motion, that makes a huge difference. And then we come to Lowlight, and Lowlight on the new GoPro is exceptional. It is so much better than GoPro has ever put out before. Like, it is just exceptionally good. So great job there, GoPro. I would put them neck and neck in some ways if you're shooting in the Lowlight modes, because they both look really good. And part of the reason for that is that the GoPro has the new 1-inch sensor. So you get just way much better Lowlight performance. However, that 1-inch sensor does lead to one of the things that I was talking about before. And that's the fact that you now have a much higher limit to how close focus you can get. As you can see here, if you get too close to an object, the GoPro is definitely a little bit more out of focus than the Ace Pro 2 is. I hope that GoPro comes out with something like a macro lens for the Mission 1 Pro, or if you're going to be doing a lot of macro type stuff, you're going to probably want to look at the Mission 1 Pro ILS, which is the interchangeable lens version of this. But then we come to slow motion, and here is where the GoPro Mission 1 Pro is just destroying pretty much everything else on the market right now. And it's not just because you can film 4K up to 240 frames a second in the GoPro. I mean, 120 4K in the Ace Pro 2 is good, but then you put it next to 4K 240 and there's just a substantial difference. But it also gives you the ability to shoot 1080p or full HD up to 960 frames a second, which is absurdly slow motion, and I was surprised at how good it actually handles it. In the past, when GoPros had these sort of extreme slow motion modes, they've really lost a lot of detail, they've lost a lot of dynamic range, they've just been not very usable. But this is actually surprisingly usable in the right conditions. But you do need a lot of light in order for that to work, because that is extremely slow motion. You just got to have a lot of light to be able to shoot almost 1,000 frames a second. Now, one area where GoPro added a feature in the image side that is actually really cool is that you can track a subject through a scene. So you can have the camera kind of track the subject left or right. Insta360 doesn't have anything like on that on the Ace Pro 2. So it is kind of nice. I don't know if you use it, but if you want to add just a little bit of motion in a scene. And they both support a version of 360 degree horizon balancing, to where you can basically move the camera 360 degrees. You can roll it 360 degrees and it will keep the horizon perfectly level, and other options from that as well. The difference is that GoPro does it in camera, where Insta360 you have to set it into free form mode, and then you can do that, and then you have to pull it into the Insta360 Studio app and do it in there. And then they all offer an 8 or a 2x zoom, because these are all 8K capable sensors now. So if you want to get a little bit more tighter look, you can do that as well. But with GoPro, you can also continue to crop in up to 4x. Now, you do lose quality because you're cropping in a lot when you do that, but it is impressive how close you can get with a little bit of sharpening in post and maybe a little bit of image cleanup. You know, it might be a usable image for you. Personally, I probably wouldn't use it. I'd stick to the 2x zoom. And then one more way I wanted to test this was photos. And I like the Ace Pro 2 takes some fantastic photos. They're up to 37 megapixels. They look really good. They've got great dynamic range. I've shot a lot of photos with this camera, and it does a great job. GoPro has made a massive improvement in photos, and now allowing you to take up to 50 megapixel stills with a lot of different options on how you want to handle that image, whether you want the RAWs or you want the like super HDR photos. You can do a whole lot of different things. I haven't had the chance to shoot nearly as many photos with this, but if you put the photos side by side of the same subject material, like, they both look really good. I do think, again, I've probably got to give the edge to GoPro, just because it is a little better and it's a little newer, and I do like the way GoPro handles processing their imagery. It looks really good. And then we have the on-camera audio test. Now, the cool thing is that all of these camera systems have their own microphones that you can add in and go direct to camera, which maybe we'll try out in just a second here, but that pretty much cleans up any audio. But right now we've got some wind coming from over there, and I'm curious to see how these three do. This is the GoPro with its auto wind noise reduction on, and the microphone setup that it has built in. And then this is the Ace Pro 2. The one issue, or the one area where I think the Ace Pro 2 maybe still has a bit of an advantage, is that it has this wire mesh screen that helps with wind. But I haven't listened to any of these yet, so just kind of curious how you guys think they're doing. Also, how beautiful is this spot? Not bad, right? All of these camera makers now have their own microphone systems. The only one I haven't been able to try yet is the GoPro, which I would love to try out, but they didn't send it to me and it's not available for sale yet, so I'll have to maybe try that out in the future. This is the the Insta360 Mic Pro, which just came out recently, connected to the Ace Pro 2. But one of the big changes that GoPro made is that you can direct connect any USB-C capable microphone and be able to record straight into camera, which is fantastic. They all do pretty much the same, and honestly, when you put a mic like this with the windshield or a lapel mic or something like that, you pretty much negate any sort of wind noise that you're going to get. Now, I haven't had a chance to test the new GoPro Hero or the GoPro microphone system that they've come out with. I'm not sure if it has a direct connection feature or not. that would be amazing, because then you don't lose your waterproofness. Where the Ace Pro 2, you know, you can still stay waterproof while you're using the microphone, because it's a direct connection system. And then we come down to form factor, size, weight, and accessories, user interface, all of that. They actually, form factor wise, they're both very similar. Like, they're both pretty good sized cameras. They're not exactly small and lightweight action cameras anymore, but GoPro does have this front-facing screen, which gives you actual, you know, video feedback. You can see yourself in it if you want to, where this is just, the Insta360 Ace Pro 2 is just going to show you settings. Now, the Ace Pro 2 does have the ability to flip the entire screen up and around. So if you want to be able to have the full screen, look back to see, like, it's pretty useful. And I've been using this for a while. Originally, I was a little worried about the hinge and this little ribbon cable here, but it has held up extremely well over time with a lot of actuation. So very good job there, Insta360. But if you're going to be doing a lot of stuff in really harsh environments or hard places, then the built-in front screen of the GoPro is probably going to be a little better for you, just because it is a little bit less moving parts. Now, I already talked about close focus distance, and this leads into something else. Both of these cameras offer this sort of like fake or faux, whatever, camera cage thing that turns it into somewhat of like a mini mirrorless camera. They're both really great. It actually does make it a lot of fun to shoot with. The difference is that the Ace Pro 2's version of it actually has an extra battery in there, so it gives you extra battery life. And then it also has a shutter button and a couple of other things you can do with it. Where the GoPro doesn't have any of that. It does have this, which essentially pushes down on the button of the GoPro. But what that enables you to do is basically keep this on if you're going underwater. It doesn't change the underwater proofness of the camera. And both of these cameras are waterproof. The Insta360 Ace Pro 2 is waterproof up to 39 feet, where the GoPro is waterproof up to 66 feet without any extra cases. But when it comes to accessories, and this is something that I hope that GoPro is going to build out in the future, is you have all of these different lenses for the Ace Pro 2. You have a macro lens, you have an anamorphic lens, or a 180, a super wide lens. The anamorphic lens is here. Like, you can use all these different lenses with the Ace Pro 2 to get a lot of different looks, especially close focus distance, which is the GoPro's Achilles heel right now. Again, that's for the Mission Pro, but if you're going to get the Mission Pro ILS or the Mission ILS, that won't be an issue because you'll be adding your own lenses anyway. When it comes to battery life, both of these cameras sport an incredibly good battery life. Insta360 says up to 180 minutes, which is 3 hours, depending on the mode you're filming in, whereas GoPro is 3 hours or more in 4K 30. You get 2 hours or more in 4K 60, and up to 5 hours if you're recording in 1080p 30, which is insane. But it also supports better cold weather performance, which I did notice putting it in all the cold water that it is better. It definitely handles it better. Previous GoPros died pretty quick when I used to do that stuff. And they have now included fast charging capability, which is amazing if you have the PPS charger. So you can recharge up to 80% in 27 minutes, where Insta360 Ace Pro 2, you can recharge up to 80% in 18 minutes. So a little faster on the Ace Pro 2 still, but it is a welcome change for GoPro to be able to fast charge back up to 80%, and it definitely makes a huge difference. Then we come down to menu system, usability, stuff like that. Both of these cameras feature voice command, where you can just tell them to start or stop recording or take a picture. Insta360 also has gesture control, which is kind of fun if you're standing a little ways away from the camera, and you can control it with the mic system built in. You can tap the buttons for different commands. You can have it pre-capture. Insta360 has a cloud service you can upload to now. And then you've got a bunch of other options that you can have it go into extended run or endurance mode. You got your lens options. You can go into here and get into a bunch of different settings here. Time code, format the SD card, all of that sort of stuff. And then GoPro is very similar in the fact you swipe down, you can go over, adjust the cards. You have voice control. You can set up quick capture. They do make ND filters for this, but I haven't had a chance to test those out. You can also Bluetooth connect a microphone if you want, but your sound quality will go down quite a bit. And then preferences, you've got a bunch of options here. The one thing that is nice about GoPro is that it has built-in GPS. So if you want to overlay GPS information like speed and all of that, it's all built into the camera. You don't have to have an external device. Insta360 does sell a GPS watch or GPS remote for this if you want the GPS information. But the biggest advantage that GoPro has had over any other action camera for years is GoPro Labs. And this gets into a little bit of the experimental side of GoPro, but you can upload specialized firmware onto GoPro and then set up basically QR codes with your camera or with your phone that tell the GoPro what you want it to do. So say you want it to turn on once every 24 hours and take a photo, or you want it to turn on between 2 and 3 a.m. and do a time lapse, or you want to do some absurdly high bit rate like 500 megabits a second. All that stuff, I mean, unbelievable amounts of stuff you can do with GoPro Labs, and that is a huge advantage GoPro has and has had over any other action camera. But it gets into the, very nerdy, very experimental side. But if you would really unlock the power of an action camera, GoPro Labs is where it's at. But next, I'd like to know what you thought of how these two cameras stacked up. The Ace Pro 2 actually did a little better than I thought it was going to do, considering it's 2 years old now. But GoPro definitely has unleashed an incredibly powerful action camera with the Mission 1 Pro. If you have any specific questions, let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, you're going to want to watch this video right here where I compare some other incredible action cameras. I'll see you over there. As always, if you have any specific questions, ask in the comments, or you can join my live stream, which happens most Wednesday nights at 4 p.m. Alaska time, 8 p.m. Eastern. We can have more of a conversation. I can answer questions that maybe I didn't get to in this video. I'll see you again soon in the next one. Cheers.